Hello and welcome on board, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, depending on the time zone that you have joined us today from. I, Ishita Mathur, I'm your host for today, and I'm delighted to bring to you this webinar on your 24/7 clinical knowledge partner, the AI Companion for Nurses. We are also streaming live today, so folks joining us live, if you could just drop in your name, email address, and the purpose of joining, so our team can get in touch with you after the webinar. All right, so before we begin, let me give you a quick introduction about today's webinar and also tell you a little bit about Mindbowser. So, here at Mindbowser, we are a health technology based consulting organization building custom software solutions for clinicians. We've been in this industry for over 13 years now, and having that said, we've already created various health accelerators that are solving real life challenges for nurse practitioners and frontline care providers. Today, we will be giving you a demo of one of these health accelerators that we have built, which is our 24/7 clinical assistant. On the screen, you can also see our partnership ecosystem, where we have strategically listed a few of the customers that we have worked with. Furthermore, here you can see the architecture of our AI services. Mindbowser participates in the customer's journey from the beginning, making sure that the data is collected from the relevant sources and all our custom solutions organize and clean up this data, making it insightful for clinicians to use, all while maintaining its privacy and security. We also provide AI workflows that are 40% pre-built and further customizable, giving your solution a head start and expediting the launching process. Now, let me introduce you to the panelists for today. Joining us today is the founder and CEO of Mindbowser, Ayush Jain. He is an expert in the health technology sector and will be sharing his perspective on the clinical knowledge assistant that we have built. Joining him is Sandeep Nadu, the head of data science, who will be walking us through the AI companion that our team has built. And I'm happy to introduce Jennifer Johnson to you guys. She is an ER nurse, a clinical educator, and a digital health strategist, and she has joined us today to share her perspective as a frontline care provider. I would now like to hand over to Ayush Jain, who will be walking us through the webinar.
So thank you, Ishita, for the kind introduction. And like I was speaking before, it's a very exciting topic because the knowledge crisis in nursing is real. From what we learn from our own consulting practice, working with a lot of different hospitals with different capacities, I believe that especially I see two reasons here. Like one is that one because the training in healthcare carries so much risk, like life or death consequences if it goes wrong. And of course, nobody enters the field to do any harm. But what also happens is that if the information is not available when they need it, if it does not found, then it does not exist for the staff. And that means that, like stats show that medical errors have been like the third largest leading cause of death in the US. So, it has always been, one of the important things that are required, like how, we can better train, we can better provide information to our frontline workers. And I see that AI is definitely opening doors to new possibilities, and that's what we are seeing while working on our consulting. So, that being said, I'll ask Jen. Jen, what is your thought, like the knowledge crisis in nursing? How real is it?
Oh, it's beyond real. With everybody with the mass exodus, COVID, post-COVID, you've had both brand new nurses walking out and leaving after 2 years, and then you've had a huge exodus of people who are on the cusp of retirement, and even those who might have been 10 years, away from retirement, saying, that's it, I'm done, I can't handle this, and walking away. So suddenly you're left in situations where brand new nurses are training brand new nurses who are training brand new nurses. And it ends up being there's a lot of nuances and a lot of knowledge that's lost just with this huge turnover of nursing staff.
Right. Right, true that. In fact, that reminds me of a conversation I was having with one of the clinicians, and they mentioned to me that all this new generation basically is like for the first time joining the workforce, and this is a generation which is digital native. They look at their smartphones all the time. They are more used to, let's say, new tools and streaming, and are shy to ask questions. Like there was always the
Yes.
culture in nursing that you could always ask, but now there's a generation that probably wants the answers from their smartphone, or figuring out themselves rather than going and speaking and looking into the eye. So those things have become a bit more difficult, and that's another reason, I think is fueling the need for tools that can augment people in the right setting, turn things in a way that is more consumable, and can fill this critical gap behind day-to-day work and getting the information, because it's not that you don't know it, but you can't find it. And like
Yeah.
Ishita has got this very beautiful slide here that you have 500 policies, you have 200 protocols, multiple manuals, and you have 30 seconds to find it and make it work. So
Yeah, and
that's
typically you're having to go through the hospital's own intranet, which you're not using all the time, so you're not
and which
familiar
is
with
slow.
it. They
Yeah.
policies move, policies change. You think it's under one name because that's what you call it, but the
Yeah.
educators call it something different. And so then you're left scrambling to try and follow policy and do the right things. And then it's, well, the number of times I've heard, I'll just Google it is
Right.
countless.
Yeah, yeah. No, fair point. And I think something we'll cover today more about, one of the biggest problems, again, you are hitting the nail on the head right away, that, why you cannot rely on Google or ChatGPT to find your answers, so there's this funny, joke that comes to my mind when you said that. So when you ask your symptoms to Google, it's like you got cancer.
Oh,
And
100% every
when
single
you
time.
yeah, and when you ask the same question to ChatGPT, it would say, "Oh, it's going to be fine. You are doing fantastic." So,
Yeah.
they are apart from each other in the way they would approach your question, and real care may lie somewhere on a third pole. So you
We
just
have a lot of mugs circulating around that says don't confuse your Google search with my medical degree.
Right, right. Well said. Yeah. So, why not we do a quick poll? I see we have audience already joined now. So, Ishita, why not we poll like what people think about this problem that we are discussing, and how do they see it? If you can launch the poll. If you're facing issue, that's okay. I mean, we can keep going. Okay. So, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I see your poll. Yes. So it would be interesting to see answers from the audience. In the meantime, let's keep tugging along. Primarily, like today, the demo that we have set up, I just wanted to share a disclaimer that this is a very limited demo, that our AI team has actually built it just for the sake of the webinar. We are doing, in fact, more work around this space, and very interesting work that is going on, I would say. But most of it, as in most things in healthcare, remains behind NDAs and stuff like that. So, like if you like what you see and you would like to go into deeper detail, you can always get in touch with us on a later day. And again, Ishita will share some resources later, links where you can request for more, I'd say, clinical demo. But today we are going to go more into the concept and some possibilities, but in the context of publicly available information and publicly available APIs, etc. So Sandeep from our AI team has his demo ready, I believe. Maybe, yeah, over to you, Sandeep, and let's go from there.
Yes, thank you Ayush, for giving me opportunity to share this, and thank you Ishita for introducing me. Jen, thank you for coming here. It's glad to hear having you. And yeah, so I'm going to today actually I will go going through the demo where actually I will share the walkthrough of the AI companion that we have built. So let me share my screen first. Uh, Let me know if you are able to see my screen. Yeah, this is the interface where actually we are interacting with the AI companion. So I'm just logging as a nurse over here. John is the login name, and I'm just the password. So you can see here. You can see interface welcome screen where actually there are on the left hand side there are some categories which are we have put it popular categories like policies, medical interaction, and clinical pathways. On the right hand side you can see the chat window where user can able to chat over here. So these categories are having some FAQs and their answers as well. So if any nurse wanted some refer to the FAQs, she can directly go to the FAQ. Or if she needs some kind of a custom questions, maybe she can ask to the companion. So yeah, so maybe we can try with some of the questions. I will walk you through. But here actually maybe we can take one question from these categories only. So maybe I can ask one question related to policies, for example. So maybe we have kind of a dental policies. So maybe I can ask about the dental policy. Uh, what are the dental policies uh, for the patients?
Do you want to throw in a few typos, Sandeep? Or
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Here is the type. Yeah,
because real world does not
yeah,
type
yeah.
full
Correct,
words.
correct.
Yeah.
Let's try.
It's for real life.
Yeah.
Real life.
Yes. So you can see here, we got the answer from the bot, and kind of a long answer altogether. These are the policies he has mentioned over here. You can see here there is one observation where, according to the answers as well, so answer is neatly polished, as well as they have the steps as well. Like every step is having module and sub module kind of a thing. But also you can see here there is an attachment also. So it is a referral link actually. The referral link is where actually the knowledge from where actually it is referred to. So for this chatbot, actually we have created a knowledge for their own, and it will fetch the query. So whenever the user inputs a query, actually it fetch from that knowledge, not from the real LLM.
Right.
So this is all together to a limited knowledge that we are actually storing.
Right.
So
So
you can
what you
see
are
here.
saying here, Sandeep, is that basically we are able to provide a link to every answer that it gives, so that there is no chance of going out or hallucinating, because there's a reference provided to each answer that is being prepared by the LLM.
Right. And for the user perspective, actually, we have keep the link open. So whenever the user clicks in, it can refer to direct the document from which it is referred. Right.
Yeah,
So
I mean, if I can notice one thing, like while that answers looked longer, the PDF is like 475 pages. So
yes, yes,
it
you're
does
right.
a decent
So
job of extracting the required information.
correct, correct. Yes.
Yeah. So,
So yeah,
Jen, what do you think? Yeah. Yeah, I was just asking Jen, what do you think? What question would you type in, or yeah,
yeah,
what do you?
maybe yeah, your
Yes.
preferred question.
So I've had a chance to play with it, and one of the best things was, especially for a new nurse, you have answers about very broad topics, and so I had asked it, how do you mobilize a patient after surgery? And it came up with not only step by step by step information, it then expanded on each step. It was very easy to follow. and it was quick. So it was really great to be like, if I'm sitting at my desk, I've got a minute to figure this out. I can quickly pull this up, put in my question. And again, a very general question that there may not be policies specifically. And so then it's giving me outlines of exactly what to do. Okay, well, let's see how they sit up in bed first. Okay, that's what with 17 years of ER, that's what I would do. They do okay sitting up in bed. Okay, well, let's dangle your feet over the side. Let's see how well you do with that. Okay, then let's try, you do okay with that. Let's try standing you up. And it did the exact same thing that I would do, where it was step by step and bringing it up, and this is how you go. And it was so detailed that I was kind of blown away, to be fair.
Yes. Yes, you are right. So here, Jen, if you can notice over here, so I just type the questions over here, and it is not giving me the answers, right? So it is
Oh,
because
nice.
actually for the reference purpose. So on the knowledge side, actually we have keep updated the knowledge always. So when what has been done is actually based on the knowledge graph. So whatever the knowledge we have created, it is giving us an answer based on that. So that means that the current question is not referring or not found in the knowledge, and that's why it is giving the answer. So let me show you one example of it. So maybe we can train some knowledge live, and I can show you how it works actually.
I think
So
the good
maybe,
point here is more about that it does not hallucinate or makes up the answer. So I think,
yeah,
Jen, the question that you are mentioning, is in a different version, which is, like, that's why I was saying that, there are things behind NDA. So, the one that
yeah,
you played with is more advanced, which had all that knowledge already. But this one that is created for the demo does not has that, knowledge document around this question or around
yes.
this
Yeah.
of
Maybe,
knowledge.
yeah, maybe
That's
Jen
why,
wondering, right, why yesterday is
yeah.
working and why today not.
Yeah. But I think, Sandeep, maybe you would want to demo maybe uploading some knowledge repository and then, coming back to questions. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So maybe we can refer one of the link over here. So I just a moment. So this is the page. Maybe we can train. This is containing some kind of disorders. So it is a urea cycle disorders, and I would like to actually train this. So, but before that, maybe we can just put a question. Just a moment. What? So maybe we can check first whether the knowledge exists or not, right? So maybe I just put a question. Can you tell me sign and symptoms about, yeah. Okay. So the knowledge is not present over here. So you can see here, not able to give the answers. So maybe let's put the knowledge over here. So there is the admin screen. So let me know if you are able to see my admin screen.
No, we are
No.
seeing
Okay.
the urea cycle disorder tab. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Sorry. So I'm just resharing.
So Ayush, when this gets going, is it going to be both available on like an app as well as like a website, or will be
No, in
dependent
fact,
on?
yeah, so one app, but also we are working towards one integrating within the EHR or the EMR. So because again, you should not be required to go to a separate screen to ask your question. So one will integrate it in, whatever hospital resources are like the EHR, etc. And second,
Mhm.
one exciting work that we are doing, although that one is in pilot right now, but I'm very excited, is also providing a hotline number. So basically, you could just text
Ooh.
or text to a phone basically, so there would be a
Hmm.
number provided by the hospital, and then you could just let's say a nurse could just text the question and get the answer. So even that is possible, and even WhatsApp also is possible. So again,
Yeah.
overall we plan it that it has to be like whatever communication platform is required. So it could be a white label application if the hospital wants it, but it can be very much a hotline or a WhatsApp bot, whatever works.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we can see your screen, Sandeep, just
Yeah,
to
yeah,
let
yeah. Thank you.
now. I
So,
think you
so
are
you can see
uploading the
here.
URL.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I'm going to
Yeah.
upload this URL. So here it is. So now you can see here the URL has been submitted and processing in the background. So in the background, actually, the jobs get started to actually convert that particular page, text page, HTML page into the vectors in terms of knowledge, right? So yeah. So in the meantime, maybe actually I will go through. So while it's uploading, it will take maybe a minute or so, but before that, maybe I can just show you the high level architecture of this AI companion application. So if you can see my screen, and here is the high level architecture which is looking. So there are various components you can see over here which are involved and integrated with each other. But there are three components I would like to actually mentioning. So first is the actually rack pipeline. So this rack pipeline actually built for creating the knowledge base. So this pipeline actually what it does is actually whenever we upload or user uploads any document in the form of any thing like maybe a web page, maybe a PDF, or maybe a YouTube link, for example. So what that kind of a knowledge has been converted into the vector, and this vector actually stored in a way that whenever the query comes in, it will search for the similar results and all those. So second component I would like to tell about the agent controller. So here actually what we have done is this system is agentic based system where actually every agent is work as a standalone actor over here. So every agent is having their own job. So in a system there are different jobs which every agent is doing. So for example, if user's query is in and one agent actually translating that query into the vectors and check for the similarity. Whereas the second agent, whenever the similar results comes in, the second agent is evaluating those results as well, right? Whether the query is matching with the answers or not. And third agent is actually preparing the answer. So that kind of stuff is there, and each agent is communicating with each other, and that is how the agentic systems has been built. The third component is the guardrail components. I would say it's a very crucial component, important component for us because it guards the information that we want. So we can actually apply custom rules to it. So whenever actually we interacting with LLMs, sometimes LLM hallucinate, it going beyond the path, it is not on the track. That kind of stuff actually we already see. So here the guardrails actually taking part for not going off the track, and it will try to maintain the track. So that kind of stuff is there. So for example, if I write a custom rule to not the share the PHI information, for example. So that kind of stuff actually I can put into the guardrails. That way, whenever any request go out, it will check for this. So there are input and output guardrails where actually we can guard the information for input as well and for the output as well. So this is the very crucial component I would say in the healthcare system where the information is very authentic and very private, right? So in that regard, actually the guardrails play a very major role. So let's come back to our
Yeah,
system
we can see
and we
the
can see.
admin tab. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So maybe we can see total number of uploads over here, 7. And just refresh it and check, verify. Yeah, it's okay. And I see. Okay, so if you can see here in the recent uploads, you can see this URL uploaded now. The URL second. You can refer to that link as well. If I click over here, you can go directly to that particular page. So this is the page actually we have trained. So now,
Now it has got the brain of you
yes,
just
correct.
recording.
Correct,
Is
correct.
what we
So
do.
we have
Yeah.
trained now. So let me reshare the other screen. Hmm, okay. So now maybe we can just retype the same question. Okay. So let's have let's make it and let's see. Okay. Now you
Oh,
can
why
see
not?
here.
I think I skipped a beat for a moment. What's happening? There was this serious music in my head.
Yeah. So you can see here the answers coming now. So the same for the same question, actually, you can see there is no answer for that particular AI companion. And then whenever actually we upload the knowledge, it have the knowledge and it is giving us nice results out of it, right? So whatever I'm asking, it is preparing the results based on what the query has been, right? So based on that, and also if you see here, we are getting this link as well, the reference link, right? So user can anytime actually refer to that original link from where actually this knowledge has comes in, right? So this is a good altogether. So let me actually introduce you the other side of the bot as well. Like you see, the chatting is happening, but other side of it is the admin panel actually we have built. So admin panel is for the organization purpose actually we are maintaining. So let me share other screen again. Let me know if you are able to see my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the admin panel actually we have prepared where actually we have give some kind of analytics onto the bot. So what is happening onto the bot side, right? So user comes in, nurses logs in, they are asking question, everything is happening, right? But organization don't know what is happening over there, what questions has been asked. So that is where actually we have created this admin panel where it gives some kind of insight. Like if you see here, there are total number of nurses we can see, total queries has been fired, total uploads we have done, average number of queries nurses are typing, so that kind of a stuff over here. So you can see here the active nurses, most active nurse, these kind of a stuff are there. Most importantly, the most frequent questions as well. So for example, if we are asking frequent questions, so there are multiple nurses who are asking frequent questions. So management or organization get to know that what are the questions nurses are asking, and by using that actually they took some kind of a decisions, right? So this is the main concern maybe for them. So that kind of a stuff maybe we can identify using this kind of admin panel. You can see already the content page. The other is the users where actually.
By the
Yeah,
way, if I were to just add that
yeah,
content-wise, Sandeep
yeah,
has shown in the past that he can consume PDFs, he can consume web-based links, and also he can consume audio or video files. So let's
correct.
say institute has, let's say a lot of videos that they want
Hmm.
their team to be trained upon. Then, like Sandeep and his team can basically take all those videos and turn them into again a knowledge repository, which can also be turned into also micro lessons for the team. So by micro lessons, we mean that one is the use case when you need it, for example, to when you are on the bedside. But the other use case that we are seeing more and more is basically turning all of this into a micro learning based training plan that can be very personalized for each nurse. So as the workforce coming in, for example, they want to learn, they want to revise, they want to practice. Let's say, after their duty, they are off hours and sitting in their bed and just, like even checking that, hey, what I did today, was that right or not? So, like putting a question that I did this, whether this is right or not. So again, they can chat and they can see
Correct.
whether their response was right or whether their response was half right, for example, because many times there's no right and wrong like in a one and zero fashion.
Yeah.
It is more about that, okay, maybe you did this aspect right, but when you said this aspect, you could have done this thing better. So that's where the power of LLM comes in, like, be able to comprehend all that information and, put it really contextual.
Yes. You're
Can
Yeah.
I
definitely
add?
correct. Yeah. Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
Jen. Uh,
This is phenomenal for nurse educators because, a lot of times you're working on policies, you're not actually on the floor interacting with your nurses day in and day out. Sometimes there's nurses who are specifically night shifts and weekends. That's me. Like, I don't get to see your everyday, Monday to Friday type of people. So to be able to have a reference to go, hey, my nurses are asking a lot of questions about chest tube this week, or, a very specific procedure like hypodermoclysis or some very niche kind of weird thing. Then all of a sudden, the nurse educator can see, holy cow, all of a sudden we've had 30 questions about this one topic. Something must have gone on. Maybe there's a debrief needed, and maybe there's a review of skills. So let me make a plan, and I already know that this is an issue. Like, it's not like I'm coming to you guys and going, oh, let's review CPR. Well, we've done CPR 5 times today. That's not really an issue. It's we haven't seen a chest tube in 6 months. So let's go over this again. And that's it's invaluable information, especially from a nurse educator perspective.
right, right.
Correct.
Do that. Yeah. Yeah, Sandeep, you were saying
Yes,
something.
I agree with you, Jen. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so maybe we can continue with the pages that are remaining. So, like Ayush mentioned, this is the content screen where actually we can upload different type of documents from any type of document. Like you can see here, we have actually trained the YouTube videos as well. So it will actually get the YouTube audios, videos, PDF stuff, Word documents, any kind of documents we can train over here on the fly. Okay, there is a user section you can see over here. So here actually we can register a nurse for the login, and maybe they can log in into the system. You can see here admin can also see the categories. These are the extra analytics we have put it over here, like what are the kind of uploads we have done. So you can see here the bifurcation of uploads, how many PDFs are there, how many URLs are there. Then it will also showing inactive nurses. You have created the login for nurses, but maybe nurses are not going through it, or maybe they are not interested. You can see the inactive nurses as well. And also main factor, whenever actually you deploy this application onto the server, it will also going to give you some kind of a system health information on live, like how many how the system is running, right? So the server informatics is also over here. So this is all about the admin panel section, and this is all about the interface we have built. So I would like Jen to maybe I have query to Jen, like maybe what do you feel, Jen, like about this interface we have built? Maybe it's good, or maybe any kind of improvements you needed in that interface.
Yeah, I mean, the admin dashboard is phenomenal, obviously. And the analytics, I don't know from like a theoretical educator perspective if I would be using this panel very much, other than if I know that all of a sudden there's a ton of inactive nurses, then it's okay, are they inactive because they're not interested in the technology? Are they uninterested because they just don't know about
No.
it? There's still a very large nurse portion of nursing that has no idea about AI.
Right.
They're nervous. They don't even use ChatGPT. They're just very hesitant. So to be able to know, like, am I, is it just a purely I don't want to use it kind of thing, or is it just I've never been shown, so I don't know, the prompts that are in within the different nurse brain kind of things is fantastic for just like a starting place, because once you get it talking, you can very easily move from point to point to point, and then you get curious. Then you're like, oh, well, it answered that question so easily. Well, what about this? And now you're kind of challenging it a bit, because nurses have egos. So you kind of start to challenge it a bit to kind of go, oh, it does know about that, and oh, that actually explained that much better than I've been explaining it. So maybe I'm now taking that information in. So it's kind of, it's a very unique perspective, and probably the hardest bit, other than getting it to integrate with whatever EHR from a technology standpoint, is just to get the nurses comfortable with using it, especially those who, your Gen Xers, your baby boomers, those who, weren't raised with technology. So I'm an elder millennial, so I've kind of been raised with technology, like halfway. But I've only started using ChatGPT within about the last year and a half. So I'm still new to it. So it's kind of nice to say, like, oh man, this makes life really, really easy. Once you kind of open the door and say, okay, it's not nearly as scary as you think, like just ask it a question. And once you get the curiosity playing, it takes off.
Yes, yes. Thank you for the feedback. And you mentioned it right, right? It's kind of a gamify the thing, right? So it getting interest to actually interact with this kind of interface. Yes.
Yeah. If you can have nurse buy-in, if there's one nurse who's using it repeatedly and then they're kind of the expert nurse that people go to anyways, you can say like, "Oh, hey, just if I'm not here, because again, I'm not working 24/7, 365, if I'm not here, why don't you ask this and see what it comes up with, and then you can play with it if you happen to have a whole minute to yourself, you can play with it a bit too, right? So it might be a little bit of slow pickup just depending on the I think the ages within your units, but truly, I explained Chat GPT to a 60-year-old colleague of mine the other day, and he goes, "Oh, I just had no idea it could even do this." And so all of a sudden now he's off on a chair playing with
Right.
Chat GPT.
Yeah, yeah. No, true that. And I
That's
think, Jen, you are right in pointing out, building with the nurses. So, of course, we want our nurses, our users to be successful, with the solution. So, we're making sure that anytime we are going into any contract, we are doing enough discovery exercises, with the stakeholders, which not only, of course, has the hospital economic buyers and stuff, but also making sure that we have building it with the users, which is the frontline workers that we are targeting to serve.
Please.
So, like
That is my
prototype
only ask.
them. Yeah, and prototyping. So you are again bang on the point that that's super important because, and that's something even Sandeep was pointing out, that being able to track overall, like usefulness or usage. And in fact, that remains one of our key KPIs as part of contracts, that, how much usage we are able to build in, how much engagement we are able to build in, and gamify it as much as possible. Of course, the interfaces change, like I was discussing. We rather, in fact, go into the EHR and integrate the complete thing, within the hospital system itself. So it may not be like this colorful web page, because sometimes there are these constraints, to make it boring, because hospital systems tend to be boring. But we try our best, working with the
Yeah.
stakeholders. So, Ishita, would you like to pull back the poll that you had taken? I think
Yes.
let's the results. Yeah, what did people say?
I'm sharing the poll results now with everyone.
Oh, that's a very equal split. But I see there is one hospital or one clinic that is doing very good in this regard. So that's good to see.
What are they doing?
Yeah, let us know. I mean, that's great. I mean, always good to follow, good people who are already solving problems. So, but I see overall a very equal split. And yeah, again, just to mention, we have opened the Q&A. So any questions that you might have, you can put in the Q&A, and we'll be happy to answer. We have again our tech team available from Sandeep, so he can answer any further technology questions. I can talk more around the business and how we are like going about it and so on. And Jen is, of course, here, to talk at clinician. Though that would be more neutral view, not the Mindbowser view, but that's the most valuable thing, because Mindbowser as a tech company can always think of many possibilities, but we always verify with Jen and our other guides who can let us know like what really is required. So yeah. So Ishita, why not we switch back to the deck? And
Yes.
Yes, so summary slide, pretty much. Again, Jen, I hope you liked it. You already shared the feedback, but now connecting back to where we started with that beyond Google, why this works is because, summarizing, things we already discussed, that this is built, on your policies and on your data. So it is meant to basically answer, in context. So because Google does not know your hospital policy, basically it understands the nursing context and the terminology. It is able to connect the dots. In fact, the future, of course, with AI is, it grows over time. So it also takes in feedback in terms of, what answers are right or wrong, what could have been done to make them better, and so on. So our usual contracts are not like just one placement of the bot, but we are then working constantly with our clinical partnerships, that how we are improving it, with every let's say cycle, every new release. And it opens, of course, doors to enter into more other areas of care as well. Like it can very well also be a gateway to patient companion bot as well, like allowing patients get all the answers as well. So that's another, like side of work that we do with a similar AI companion. Like today we are showing the nurse companion, but we also have patient companions similarly. And then, of course, information is verified, trustworthy. So because it says no, which is important, like we all talk about, like it's important to say no. So it does say no. And it's not about like I think the policy says, but more about like really concrete answers. So yeah, Jen, what is your takeaway, like if you were to take one thing that you are very excited about, and one thing maybe you see you would like to see more of?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just having verified expert knowledge available 24/7, 365. Doesn't matter if you're night shift, doesn't matter if you're working on a holiday, doesn't matter if you're so I've worked in places where I was the only nurse in Emerge, and that was it. And that was brand new out of school. So it was really dicey.
And
And
that's happening very commonly. Yeah, that's even
which
not.
is it's nuts, right? So if you don't have the time to run back and ask somebody, if you physically can't leave that space, this this would have been this would have changed a lot of my career starting out. It really would have. It could have saved me because again, I wasn't in a great workspace when I first started. I wasn't supported. It was a very quick orientation. You were dropped in and expected to go. Well, they don't teach emergency nursing in our programs. They teach kind of your basic nursing, and Emerge is just a whole other beast. So to have, if I would have had access to this, I could have, when things were slow, to say, "Hey, what happens if somebody comes in with chest pain? What am I expecting to do?" And then have it actually pull from my own policies. It would have been an absolute game changer.
Right, right. Agree. And we are hearing such stories, with our implementations already. Ishita, you can keep moving to next slide. So just putting some of the implementation success that we have seen. So early on in the journey itself, the AI companion is able to save a lot of time per shift. Time that goes around figuring out. But more importantly, it has been a great saver in terms of faster nurse onboarding, because like we are discussing, all these new generation coming in, and they are smart, of course, but they need the right tools that work for them. They are probably not habitual the way it has always worked as an institute. So this opens the gate for nurse educators, who are always under increasing pressure, like how to basically provide the ample training, make nurses be ready, and so on. So and with the current you know wave that we are in, basically we are seeing that there are fewer hands available. There is always this constant pressure. There's shortage of workers. So we have been seeing excellent results in terms of being a good companion, there to be able to create, to be able to allow the senior nurses, the nurse coaches, to create very custom plans, making sure that every nurse has gone through a similar training, every nurse has the right knowledge. As I was mentioning, that it can also be turned into a Q&A, it can be a quiz, it can be like it be different forms basically. So it the tools are available basically, and what once required like 6 months of just course curriculum setting and a lot of back and forth and stuff, and especially again new knowledge would come in and then it will go through various layers, to be able to make it really useful. Like AI companion, like we have today, can turn that into a 1 week project, get everybody's approval, get it ready, get it tested, and get it into usage. So that's what we are liking and hearing, what our customers say. And of course, better policy compliance. And of course, eventually, if you have the right tools, it boosts confidence, uh, takes your like clinical burden down, because you are not having those anxious moment what to do and who to find and who to ask and so on. So very fantastic results actually from the implementations that we have done. Yeah. So, Ishita, if you'll keep moving. So, primarily, we are, like I was mentioning, we are already working with few institutes. And then the good thing is that we are also calling for early adopters and innovators right now. So, institutes, to which we can serve through providing. Ishita, I think did you switch your screen? Yeah. So institutes that are looking to be early companions in the journey, and like we can help them with like be a co-development partner where they get access to great tech at a very subsidized pricing. Because they choose to be early co-development partners, and this year we have targeted to onboard uh, three such, like total five such partners, but two we already have. So we are open to three such partners, and Ishita has shared a link, which if you can sign up, or you can share with your leadership to sign up. We would be more than happy to do a one-on-one meeting, as I was share with you more details. What goes inside and what kind of other possibilities exist, and we can go from there. Yeah. So yeah. So Ishta, maybe can you go back to the to a slide? I think we did I skip? Like go back. Yeah, go back. Yeah. So yeah. So uh, just go back to the slide that shows the implementation journey. Yeah. So primarily, this is how, in fact, that is one of the questions that I see. So, I can talk about it a bit, like how does a typical integration journey goes? So, starts with discovery and use case mapping, which is something like I was mentioning earlier as well, that we make sure that we have, the buy-in from the users themselves, and they are part of the whole mapping of the journey. Like how they want it and how they will be able to use it, what are the problems they want to solve, what are their goals. For example, they want to achieve, ideally this integration should achieve for them. So align with the teams and really working closely. We do workshops with our nurse educators and in their premises, in their settings, and understand, like how we can really make it successful. Um, that is typically the first part, and understand the scope from it. And then, we take up all the content that is there. So content ingestion and prompt designing, etc. So we will take care all kinds of content like audio, video, PDFs, intranet, etc. And do the first phase of development. Again, we have our own platform, so that development is pretty fast. Train the resources and get back to what I typically call like the POC stage, and where our nurses get to test and be able to provide the feedback to the team. So this whole journey is like around a month journey. What I've seen. Again, it may vary depending on complexity, but within a month we are able to get to that stage. And then post testing, we get into like a pilot launch and then a full rollout, and then continuous learning and updates. So it's a journey that, like I was saying, it's driven very well by aligning, first of all, the objectives, and making sure that our uh, nurse educators are really getting a tool that works for them, and like really makes life easy. That's the whole goal, and that's the whole mission we work on. Another thing that I would like to just highlight is, Ishita, if you can go to the slide around risk mitigation. So, again, when it comes to health, the other aspect of health is risk. So, we of course have built-in aspects around making sure that we are, having something that mitigates risk all across, especially around AI, because again, we also know like a lot of institutes are still working on their AI policy and, figuring out. So we make sure that, one, of course, have strong contracts around safeguards. But apart from that, having proper risk mitigation strategy that we bring in right from day one, which includes, like guardrails, which Sandeep was mentioning, data privacy. So we do not upload any direct PHI, etc., making sure it is HIPAA compliant. We co-design with nurses so that we have really good adoption rates. And we make sure that there is training reinforcement. So, it's not like once done and all. And, there are always these updates. We have our own center of excellence of AI, led by some really great people from the industry. So, like always constantly be on the lookout of better AI that can be used. So, but of course, with the clinical setting. So, combining both tech and the clinical knowledge. So, yeah, that has been our journey. And we would be very excited if, any of the institutes would like to opt in for a co-development partnership, because this is a great, I would say, timing. As I said, it's at a very subsidized cost, which means that a lot of saving and really puts, in the front seat in terms of solving the admin and clinical burden issue, especially around the workforce, because we know how much, problems we all are in. And we already have the efficacy proven that this is solving some of the most important problems of workforce today. Jen, any thing that you would like to close in on?
Uh, I mean, again, it's just one of those things where we're entering new waters, right? Like it's just another tool being brought in. We're not expected to rely on it, from a nursing perspective, well, the AI told me is not going to hold up in court, and we understand that. So, at least if you've got a basis of, well, I looked this up, this is policy, here it is, if you're ever on the stand, and you can go back to, well, yes, I did use this tool, but it brought up my hospital's own policy and with a link, and here's the printed out policy, and so this is what I followed. It's solid. It's absolutely solid when it comes to legalities in my mind. And again, nurses we're always using clinical judgment. If something came up where we're like, well, I just don't know, then you 100% you still would ask a coworker to say, hey, I don't know. It says it's in the policy. It says that the policy's there. I don't know how old this policy is. And maybe it's not an issue with the AI. Maybe it's actually just an issue with the flat out policy.
Yeah. Right,
Yeah.
right. No, true, true. And that's why, it's a very personalized approach all the time. So, we have the platform which acts as like the first step towards the journey, I'd say. But eventually, AI is a journey that, all stakeholders have to go together. And that's something we, work, with our customers all the time, educating them about this whole implementation expectation that, we all have to be together in it to make it successful. And,
Yeah.
like taking it step by step, what I call like the crawl, walk, run approach. So, start with the crawling, start with, let's say, one of your specialty clinics, for example, limited nurses, be able to solve that, get feedback, and,
Yeah.
see what they liked, what they uh, still, let's say, long for. And that's why I was saying that, the shape of the platform keeps changing, because, every institute is different, every culture is different within an institute. So, like someone like I was sharing with you, Jen, earlier, like someone wants a text based, someone wants something in their EHR, someone wants
Yeah.
maybe a white label application. Someone wants it all. So,
Yeah.
so that's where it varies. But I think the foundation, of course, remains same, which is, guardrailed, real AI without hallucination that is clinically proven, and gives the answer on the fingertips. That's the whole foundation. Yeah.
Yeah. Bryce was just asking, so what happens if policies change then?
Yeah, I think maybe Sandeep can answer that, but
Yes.
from the technical view,
Yeah.
I would look at from the business viewpoint because we get that question. Thank you, Bryce, for asking, and we get that question all the time. So one of the things, in fact, this companion is able to do is be able to, like contextualize every time a new update happens. So it is able to even understand whether this is a updated version, and it starts basically answering with the updated version. So, that is already built in. So it maps with the already existing resources. And if it sees that, okay, this is something that already exists, but there are two pages that are updated in it. So, or these are two paragraphs, even not even pages. Let's say these are two clauses that are updated. It will update itself to, put them together. So, yeah.
Perfect.
But Sandeep, if you want to talk anything technical about
No,
it.
no, you are absolutely right, Ayush. So actually, technically, we are maintaining the version of each document as well. So whenever actually the policy get changed, whenever the new documents uploaded, the new version has been introduced, and the bot is actually referring to the new version always. So it is not, it is ignoring the old versions and it is only referring to the new versions. That way, actually, whenever the policy changes, admin is going to upload the new policies and the new updated knowledge is here to actually serve.
Yes.
Perfect.
So
Could I
maybe
ask a question?
there are a lot of,
Yeah,
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 sure.
Jay. Yeah.
So again, nursing retention is a huge issue. So in Canada alone, 30 to 60% of new grad nurses leave within the first 2 years. Could this also be instituted to potentially then like bring it into one of your very high turnover units and then see
Yes.
if it actually helps with nurse retention also?
Yes. Yes, yes, that's one of the KPIs. Yeah, right. Like I was saying that we always align the KPIs to be able to create mutual success with our customers. So, that's part of the KPI, like engagement rates, turnover ratios, because that's something a great tool can do. Like if you have a tool that your institute uses and you're loving it, that basically, takes your motivation down towards switching to some other place where you may miss that tool. So because you get used to certain
Yeah.
tools, for example, and you would be like, okay, if I go there and they don't have all of this help available, it will increase my work. So it always can help, act as a deterrent to turnover. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and even just building confidence.
Yeah.
That's really from a nursing perspective, that's half the battle of a new grad nurse is just building confidence, building your knowledge base and going. So having access 24/7 365, I mean, I would be very curious to see how that helps.
Yes, yes. So I believe we are already going to work with your institute. So so I think to the audience, I think 3 slots are now taken and only 2 are left. So you need to act fast. So
You just got
so I
another
think
one?
yeah. So
Yeah.
no, that's what you need to act fast. If you like it, go ahead. So, I think we have limited time, so I don't know if we can take up all the questions. Maybe I can just, like take up a few quickly, or maybe we can try to answer them right to the point. So, like, how long does it take to implement? What are the costs, etc.? I'll combine that together. So primarily, like I said, like 1 month of initial, I would say the first implementation, in terms of getting something ready to your institute without, let's say, without getting it into the EHR, etc., because integrations within the EHR and hospital setting is usually a lot of work, dependent on the hospital IT team, etc., as well. So what I would think of is like what we've seen is more like a 3 month average implementation time to get it like fully into the hands of the nurses. And cost wise, like I said, we are very much subsidizing it right now. So we are not charging right now like onboarding and licensing cost, etc. So right now we are just charging the usage based cost, and that's the best part about being a early adopter, that at least for the first year, and may extend it as well. You can get like very subsidized pricing, and you can get the benefit of all the waived off cost around the initial onboarding and licensing and per usage, per training cost, etc. So all of those costs we are waiving off. So it can be, yeah, really good time. If you're asking this question and thinking about it, I think this is the right time to get into the cost, but also sign it because then you can get those perks. Yeah. And
Could
then
you
how
break it down
does
into a
it?
cost per nurse? Sorry.
Yes, yes, gradually. So right now, again, so that's where again we are very flexible. Right now, we are taking it more as cohorts, basically, where it is more on a practice basis, but gradually it may come down to per user and so on. So, like as we grow, I know just like other SaaS companies, there would be a lot more things that may come in, but I think this is good timing right now. And I'll combine and probably ask this question to Sandeep. Can you update an answer about, let's say, security and also updates and compliance? So,
Yes.
Sandeep, how do you manage all of this
Yes,
also?
yes. So yes, you are absolutely right. So it's a nice question altogether, because this is the concern where how the security has been maintained and how the compliance has been. So here actually, what we are doing is we are interacting with LLM, but the LLM is kind of a standalone LLM, where actually we have a customized LLM trained that is on the premises on the server, and it is not actually open to the internet, that kind of a thing. So it is highly secure. We can actually keep it onto our premises as well. On the other side, I already explained the guardrails part, right? So on the guardrails part, actually we come to know that we can customize our rules as well, right? So what information needs to be shared, what needs not to be shared, right? So that kind of a rule, we customize it for the input as well as output, and based on that, actually we can implement a strong system altogether.
So that's a wrap, I believe, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. And you'll get a recording of this webinar, and again, feel free to get in touch with us. We can show you more stuff around this. And, we are very passionate about the possibilities that AI can create in this space, especially helping our frontline workers. And together that's what we want to do, like how we can bring more peace and more hours into our workforce life and make them successful. So that's what drives us every day, and we are looking forward to building that shared future. Thank you.
Yes, I guess question and answer has been done. Maybe over to you, Ishita. Yeah.
All right. Thank you again. Thank you, Ayush. Thank you, Sandeep. And a special thank to Jen for joining in today and sharing your insights as a real life nurse practitioner. It has definitely been an insightful session. And huge thanks to our audience for your active participation as well. A special thank also goes out to our engineering and DevOps team for making this chatbot, making the AI companion work in real life. Again, we will get in touch with you in terms of the webinar assets, the recording, and also the next series of this webinar. Thank you again. Thank you to our audience and to our speakers.